Nag-apela si Senadora Laila de Lima sa mga otoridad na tratuhin ng tama ang dati niyang nakarelasyon na si Ronnie Dayan. Huwag na rin daw sana ang gawing drama ang mga umano'y paninira sa kanya. Kasuhan na lang daw siya ng mga nagbibintang sa kanya. Hindi na rin daw magugulat si de Lima kung gagamitin alas si Dayan laban sa kanya. Nasa Senado po ngayon, si Jam Sisante. Jam.
Maiktik kumambibig ni Senador Laila de Lima nang subukang makapanayam ng media matapos lumabas ang balitang inaresto na raw ang kanyang dating bodyguard at dating nakarelasyon na si Ronnie Dayan.
Okay na siguro.
Sir,
Para
pahabol
makahinga
po.
naman to.
Konde Batak po ng RMN. Bale, sabi nyo kanina masama yung loob nyo, pero naglabas po ng statement si Senator Laila de Lima na sana tratuhin ka daw ng maayos ng mga authorities. Concerned pa rin siya sa'yo, so anong ano nyo doon? Kahit message lang, sir, anong gusto niyo ipaabot?
Pagkatatag siya, labanan niya yung binabato sa kanya.
With the permission of the Speaker, we assure Secretary Senator De Lima that we will treat him nicely.
Now, to help us make sense of the House hearing today, joining us live is political analyst DINDO MANHIT. Good evening, DINDO. Thank you for joining us tonight. Quite a turn of events today.
Yes.
Again, 8 hours of that hearing. What is your general assessment of the testimony of Ronnie Dayan?
When you look at and watch all these statements and the questions raised against Ronnie Dayan, you know he's simply either protecting himself based on, if we go back a few weeks back or a month back when we heard all this accusation that he was the bagman of Senator De Lima. So it's his testimony is about saving himself and really clearing his name, that he simply did it for Senator De Lima and he does not even know of a lot of people. But I'm more concerned with the dates that they kept on saying.
Yes.
Relationship is over, but during the elections he was scolded for wearing a baller for Duterte. I thought a lot of inconsistencies on dates, on so-called ending of relationship, but still he had communications with De Lima. So you really wouldn't know. So what I see really is somebody who feels that maybe he needs to save himself at this moment after he was caught in La Union.
Yes, that's a comment of everybody. They don't really know who to believe now. You mentioned these inconsistencies. Everybody now wants to know what Senator Laila de Lima is thinking. This show cause order, what do you think about that?
I think we have to look at also the basic legislative powers and functions. The House of Representatives is simply doing this in the exercise of maybe their powers in aid of legislation or the idea of oversight function towards a certain agencies of government. That's why it started as a review of the believed drug syndicates or the deals of the believed. But what's different here is the reality that you're dealing with a sitting senator of another independent body,
Right.
with a mandate from the people also.
Do you think that with Dayan's testimony today, he pinned down De Lima as being linked to the illegal drug trade?
Right now, when you look at all the testimonies, even the testimony yesterday by Espinosa, you really don't know who to believe anymore. Before we use as testimonies coming from a hard killer.
Yeah.
Mato-bato. Then we have a group of convicted drug lords being the source of our information. Then we have an Espinosa even pointing to certain policemen within the halls of the cell and say that I paid for these people. Now you have Dayan trying to save himself. So it's really hard to look into this. I think we are forgetting what the whole issue is all about. That there's a drug problem in the Philippines. And part of the drug problem is that there seems to be a culture of corruption within our law enforcement agencies, maybe starting from the police, the prosecutors, to even the management of our jail or penal system. So we should not forget that.
Yeah,
because at the end of the day, it's all about addressing this problem that our own president says is the most important problem. And maybe we should focus there. I was hoping that at the height of the testimony of Espinosa, number one, he should be made accountable for the crimes that he did. But aside from that, for the Philippine National Police to have arrested at least or gave order to remove those policemen
Yes.
that has been mentioned.
And
Today, I would have voted that instead of looking at Dayan simply as a witness, that if somebody was part of a crime, if there was a crime.
We did see a lot of emotion there. In fact, PNP Chief Ronald De La Rosa even cried. We saw him
Yes.
crying yesterday. Saying,
So what's happening now, you see all these testimonies, a lot of accusations, counter-accusations, by people who, when you look at why they're there testifying, they're basically criminals.
yes.
So where are we, really? Is the drug menace in the Philippines centered on Senator De Lima? If it's it, then let's prosecute her. If not, let's look at all those names being mentioned and really build a case and really address this very basic problem that has been identified by this government.
Well, that's a big question here. Who really is accountable? And now there's talk, Senator Lacson said he wants to take Ronnie Dayan to the Senate for a
Yes.
hearing. Do you think this is helping, these long, drawn-out hearings, just discussing all of this? Where is this going?
I always call myself a student of politics. Is this the first time we've had all these hearings? Every administration, every government that we've had, we've always had this administration. What do they have in common? Do we see any strong legislation that comes after it? Have we made people accountable for the acts that we have accused them with? So maybe it's time for us to also challenge our own legislature on both sides, Senate and the House. Help the Filipino nation understand really the problem with the so-called drug menace in our country. Who is at fault? And whatever comes out in their committee reports, let it pinpoint and really make people accountable and also run after criminals.
Yes.
So we can all address this and our country can move on. Imagine if I will wear a hat of somebody looking at the Philippines from outside. This is what we are spending our time on. So what picture do we reflect to the world? We live in a global, information-driven world now. And this is what we're talking about. But we fail to address the most basic issue, which is there's a drug problem. Who is at fault? Who are the corrupt police, law enforcement people? Who are the corrupt members of the executive, if there were? And let's run after them.
Yeah, well, good reminders. Definitely something we have to keep in mind. Finally, Dindo, obviously, Laila De Lima is in a difficult situation. What do you expect to happen next? What should she do? It's going to be quite a turn of events we're looking at.
What the Senate President is something that we should take note of. The Senate President respects her as a good lawyer, sees some confidence that she can defend herself. And she should defend herself, maybe as she has said in the proper forum. Then that's why for me, let's just proceed. If there are charges that will be made against her, charge her. If this is charges that means that she needs to step down from the Senate, let it be. But let's not prolong this issue and really build a case, because that's what it's all about. It's all about legislation. It's all about the power of oversight of both houses of Congress. But if there's some criminal acts that has happened, let's make these people accountable as public officials. Because if there's really some truth to all these accusations, can you imagine the Aquino government having their own justice secretary being at the center of drugs in the Philippines?
Ang pagkakataon na ipagtanggol ang aking sarili, lalo na po sa isang kalagayan na ang Pangulo na ng bansa ang nagdeklara na siya ang aking kalaban at personal na nag-aakusa sa akin. Pangulo po kayo. Senador lamang po ako. Patas na laban lamang po ang aking hinihingi. Sana ay ibigay ninyo sa akin ang ibinigay na rin naman ng batas at konstitusyon sa kahit na kaninong nag-aakusahan sa kaninong naaakusahan sa ilalim ng ating sistemang panglegal. Kung ang pag-atake sa akin ay gagawin sa pamamagitan ng pag-atake rin sa mga dati kong kasama sa trabaho o maging sa aking sariling pamilya, sana ay huwag na ninyo silang idamay. If you are bent in destroying me, Mr. President, please have the decency to spare my colleagues, friends, and family. Wala po silang kasalanan sa inyo. Sa kabila nito, makakaasa po kayo na magiging patas at makatwiran ng aming gagawing investigasyon sa mga nagaganap na mga pagpatay sa inyong giyera laban sa droga. Nanaisin namin na ang kakahantungan nito ay ang pagsisiwalat ng katotohanan sa mga nagaganap na karahasan at pagkitil ng buhay mula nang naumpisahan ang inyong laban sa droga. Sisiguraduhin namin na magiging resulta nito ay pagpapalakas ng batas para sa pagsugpo ng kriminalidad na hindi na isasantabi ang karapatang pantao ng mga napaghihinalaan man o ng mga inosente nating kababayan. Tama na po ang pananakot at panghihiyak. Bumalik na po tayo sa kaayusan na dulot ng pag-iiral ng batas at simpleng respeto sa kapwa-tao. I have always been loyal to my oath as a public servant. I am not the enemy here. Stop portraying me as one. I ask the nation to continue praying with me, for the President, and for the country. Maraming salamat.